Hello, everybody. Back. Um, yeah. So I closed. I tried closing the just the Minecraft game that I had running in the bottom left hand corner, and I guess what happened was maybe I ran out of VRAM or something. It completely tanked my display. Like I couldn't see anything. I'm not sure if it's a driver issue or if it was just the fact that it was running and it crashed so hard that it crashed my entire computer. I'm not terribly worried, but unfortunately, I seem to be getting into this issue where when I'm using when I'm streaming, every once in a while, like if I try switching or closing certain things, it just tanks. It stops working. Something just doesn't want to work anymore and it just takes my stuff down. So I don't know. I am back though, so hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm going to fire up Microsoft Flight Simulator and we're going to try placing that object we just worked on in the stream and then I'm sorry, in the in the sim, in the sim. And then we're going to see what happens. We'll put this to 1440p so that we can actually see more of the editing area without sacrificing too much. Where's my flight sim window? Hold on. I know it's out of shape. Um, Now I lost a hard drive in November, so I wouldn't put it past the sim being the computer being a bit borked, but at the same time it's probably it could be a graphics driver or a CPU issue. Hopefully it's not my CPU that's beginning to go bye-bye. I mean, I picked this CPU up in November of 2021, and now it's 2024, so technically it's going on 3 years. But I'm certainly hopeful that it's not because the CPU is going bad. I don't run at very high temperatures for long periods of time. I think it has something to do with the way that I had Blender and PureRef and Minecraft running, and I don't know. I guess Minecraft shut down and it didn't hand off memory properly, and it just completely went kaput. So, whatever. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I'm streaming, I've got Minecraft, I've got Blender. Like, I'm rendering things, so, it's not a surprise. Did it bother me? No, because we actually got the thing to render. It did actually finish rendering, so it was when I closed Minecraft that stuff went kaput. But again, no big, no biggie. Um, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, DIGI. Remember when you used to fly it a lot? But I think I do want to do some occasional flights in the sim. I might even get back behind the controls of the PMDG 737-600, one of my favorite planes in MSFS, to be honest with you, because it's not big enough that I'm like using all this high tech stuff, and it's not small enough that it's this ridiculously small, old tech 737, which by itself isn't a bad thing. I just like how the 736 was so inexpensive when I picked it up, and it was just a nice deal to have. All right, let's go find 3 Mike 0. And I also noticed that some of the airports that I made for Microsoft Flight Sim are a bit laborked in terms of how how the sim has done some recent updates. So I'm going to have to take a look at them. I have like about 5 or 6 different airports on flightsim.to. Some, at least one's in Canada, and the rest of them are in the US. So I'm going to have to actually check back in on them and see whether or not anything's broken. I forget what airport it was that I just couldn't see things anymore, like the private airport in Oregon, 6 Oscar Romeo 1. So let's go ahead and go into dev mode. I don't care about the update right now. Let's go into 3 mic 0. Okay, now let's load this place up. All right, sweet. Okay, there we go. There we go. Most of this is default assets, but I did also at one point manage to make a sign for Gaston's, which I put up front here with some plants and such. I know this isn't a 1-for-1 match with the buildings or the hangars that are here. I'm going to replace those, I think, at some point. Are you guys even watching me right now? Must be my other screen. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Good stuff. All right, so I've got a few trucks here as well, which is nice. And we've got a trailer probably dropping off some supplies. And then I put the buildings here. They probably can go further in. But yeah, this is mostly kind of like the default layout for this place. Now what I can probably do is start getting rid of this. So for me to do that, I have to create some polygons. We're going to go to Objects, choose Polygon, and then we're going to create a new polygon, and we are going to overwrite this building. And there we go. So now I can press enter. This is going to be a default resort exclude poly. And then we're going to go to buildings, exclude all. And that means that building is now gone. So here is where we go to scenery and we go find the object we rendered, 3 mic 0, and here's our building. And that's it. Now, naturally, this again was not built to scale, so I'm expecting this to look small. And here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is rotate it. So rotate to about there. And then I think what we're going to do is scale it up. And we are going to move it around and place it as needed and keep scaling. And then we'll see whether or not this actually makes sense. Because the building itself, the awning should be on the grounds. Yeah, this ain't half bad actually. So about here. And wow. Okay. So, okay. Give or take, give or take like a foot or more. Here is the scale. The scale is about 3.27 times normal. So, I like where that awning is now anyway because it actually makes more sense. And you're absolutely going to think I'm weird for saying this, chat, but this kind of sort of makes a big difference. Like right now in its unfinished state. Because if you take a look at this shape versus, let's see, if you take a look at this shape versus the building which was there before, that's what the building looked like before. And I mean, it had the idea, it had the shape and such, but it just looked like a big resort building. And now, when we activate the exclude and we bring the building in, it's still this big white blob because I haven't textured it, but now you can tell. Now you can tell it's supposed to actually be something. Now, again, like I said, dimensions way off. But I think what I need to do is bring everything down by about 2 or 3 feet. And I can test that theory by grabbing a car and putting it in the sim. So let's go to FS Base, find a, what is it, car 0 or car 1? Car 1 black. And one click placing. Yeah, so essentially we have one SUV. So it needs to be scaled to match this. This is actually a regular size car. So I would probably say we need to bring the scaling back down for this. So let's try it. Take the entire building and then we scale this down to what? No, not lights. The building. There we go. So scale this down to, let's see, da, 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 da. If we do it about 2.5 times instead of 3.5 times, then here's how it works. It's still too tall, but that's my fault because of the way that we rendered the building. So we could probably chop off a good 2-3 feet from the height. But you're not going to fit. You usually can't fit more than like one car SUV here. So I'm assuming this is the way it's supposed to be. I used the satellite imagery, which means that the satellite imagery needs to be scaled by about 2.5 times. So we're going to try a really quick experiment. And this is the fun of working with just basic prototyping in the sim without working with textures. Watch what's going to happen. We're going to reopen Blender and we're going to rescale and export live. So I'm going to leverage the ability for the sim to actually show me the buildings and such, and then we're going to re-render everything on the spot. So Blender got small, but you want to know what? That's okay. We're actually going to weaponize that. I'm going to move the Blender window kind of sort of out of the way so you can see the change happen in real time. And I'll be in Blender and you guys can also watch it at the same time in the sim. So you can tell that I made my building kind of like to match the satellite photo, right? But the satellite photo is about 2.5 times off. So we're going to scale this by 2.5 times. And how would I do that? Probably multiply everything by 2.5, I think. But does that make sense? Yeah, it would, because it was a really small building when I put it in the first time. Okay, so we're going to multiply everything by 2.5. So I'm going to run my numbers, and we're going to be 756079 times 2.5. It's 18902. So 18902. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. And we're going to multiply 151216 by 2.5, and that's 37804. 37804. I do expect the measurements are going to be off slightly. Okay, and if you take a look at the Blender window, you notice how the building looks really small? Well, that's kind of keeping in line with how it looked when we were actually placing it in a sim. So that's funny. So let's go ahead and scale it. Oh no, wait, not scaling this. We're going to scale everybody except you. I don't want you. There we go. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is probably move this into a better spot so I can scale it more easily. And then we're going to move this around until it matches where the buildings were to begin with. This may actually result in a slightly skewed and borked image. Because it's supposed to be better. But I'm going to see if I can actually make this be somewhat accurate. Like, we're not building something we're living in ourselves. We're just building something that's going to make sense for the sim. And if I can make this look better, then I will. There's also something that I don't think about much. Sometimes the satellite imagery is a bit skewed because of the way that it's captured. So there's always the possibility that the images are going to be slightly off from where I want them to be because they're different in real life, or because the images are captured at an odd angle. My building's going to be slightly off kilter. Off kilter? Well, they'll be different. All right. So, am I worried? Hold on. No, it's not going to work. All right, let's do it from here. So now I think we're almost there. In fact, this might be good enough for me to try rendering it again. It looks pretty close. The only thing that I think I'm messed up on is the size of everything. Where do these rooftops go? How high do they go? They go to 9.34 meters? No, 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 no. Okay, so I know that calculation is off because 9.35 meters is like 29 feet. No, no. This isn't an aircraft hangar. This is like a little like two-story um resort. Not even a two-story. It's like a one and a half up front and a two-story for the restaurant in the back, I'm assuming. So this is not different. This is way too high. So, okay, let's do this. Let's take all these things, and what I could do for the sake of a quick test is save a revision, a new version of this, and then we're going to join everything together with the exception of the satellite image. And we're going to deselect the satellite image and we're going to press Control J. No, no, no. I don't want the image, thank you. And we join everything together. Does it all work? No, it didn't. And I didn't actually want to do anything, so I guess I got to do this two at a time. So we're joining buildings. No, I don't want you. I want these two. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. Doesn't want to do that. So now we take the dock and join it. All right, and there's the building. 3 Mike 0 Resort building. And now the reason why I did all that is because I want to take all of the bottom pieces and connect them. And sometimes some pieces don't go, so we got to actually manually select them. But now I think we should be fine insofar as the main building's concerned. And now I should be able to take all these up and push them. But I also want to take these as well because I don't want to squish this out. It's annoying, and I apologize. But at the same time, this is scenery development, and this is why it takes a while, and this is why people charge the amount of money that they do sometimes. Because you have to do all this stuff by hand. All of it. So first thing we'll do is we'll take these up off the ground. And now, when we take a look at the rooftop, the highest point is still 9.34. Okay, I get it. Okay, we just got to that point. We just got off the ground. So if we take this to about, let's see, what was that supposed to be? 12 feet. 12 feet was supposed to be, standby. 12 feet was supposed to be 12 inches divided by 37.3. We're supposed to be like 3.8 something. because 3.8 something times 37.3 divided by 12 is about 11 feet. Yeah, so 3.8 something at the top, which means all this needs to go up by about 6, which about makes sense. Let's test that theory. So if the bottom is 6 something feet, that's not going to make much sense. Okay, that's why I need to be careful here. Let's just bring it up to about maybe like 3 feet, or not 3 feet. I'm sorry, I just caught up. So I was thinking in feet, not meters. Kurt, hello, my friend. Oh, and Kaon, sorry I missed your message. Have a great rest of your evening, and if you're streaming tonight or this week, I will be in touch. Take care, friend. Kurt Deasy, hello, my friend. I'm working on Gaston's Airport in Microsoft Flight Sim. Very good to see you. Um, let's go ahead and run some numbers because I want to get 3 feet off the top. Actually, way more than three, but let's see. Let's just experiment. Let's just experiment. How about that? Yeah, Happy New Year to you, my friend. I hope you're doing very well today. I am kind of chilling after a, high octane weekend. It was cool. It was fast. There was a lot of food involved. And now it's just a question of us kind of like chilling. I am working on Gaston's Airport, 3 Mike 0, and I am also trying to get some stuff fixed. I am just trying to keep things fairly okay at the moment. Just enough to do a quick kind of like prototype check. And now I feel like we're at this point where we can actually experiment well enough. So if I select this, set origin to geometry, now I should be able to drag it down to the ground. We went from 0.34 to about 3.34, and now I feel like this actually could work in terms of height and all this good stuff. So let's try this. I'm going to take these polygons and lift them back up, and then we'll see what happens. So these polygons need to get fixed. So we're going to lift them up off the ground, and oh, apparently I forgot to check something. So hold on. Let's dig in and select that piece too, and that should do it. Okay. I don't I don't know that I'm like that freaked out about it. So I guess it's just going to be a question of what the dimensions for this building need to be. But if you take a look at the highest point of this right now, now the highest point is at 622. Okay, so it's like about 18-ish feet, which is still way off the mark, but I feel like the dimensions have actually changed. So let me do this. Let me take these squares and shove them down. And then we can lower everything. Oh, well, that sucks. Well, you know what? Oh, that's right. Duh. Let me lower all these things as well. And then we should be able to lower this again some more. And we should be able to re-render shortly. Okay, now, oh wait, now I should be able to lower everything in one shot. That's a lot better. And that also looks a bit more realistic too. Okay, so in terms of dimensions, this looks a lot better. We're going to save this as a different revision, and then we're going to try to render it again. Now, like I said before, the difference here is that now when we export and we copy it over into the sim, I don't have to wait a very long time for it to actually do what it's supposed to do. But give me a moment. 3M0 resort building XML because it forgot something. And now I should be able to export everything and give it another shot. Okay, so inside the computer, I can just copy the files that I made into the same directory as Gaston's, and then I should be a lot smaller. And I can take bin, gltf, xml files, all with the current timestamp, pop them into the package sources, scenery, lake view, model lib, resort building folder, and then overwrite the files. And then immediately, bam, the building got way bigger, and now it's, I think, what it's supposed to look like. Actually, it's oversized because it's oversized scale. And now I can probably scale it up a little bit higher. We're closer to what it's supposed to look like, and the SUV that I had earlier now looks way more at scale inside this version of the front area of Gaston's. Now, I need to close that piece, but not that bad so far. Not that bad. Now, the exact placement of all this is probably still a bit off, but for a prototype chat, it ain't all bad. My dimensions are going to be off. I need to make sure I know what the dock area is going to look like. And this ground is not flattened. So I need to do several things. I need to, well, for one, get better, either get better terraforming or just kind of play around with it and then get the docks to actually go down to the river bed itself. But I don't know. I feel optimistic about this. I feel like this is very much on its way now. Whereas before it was just like, oh, I don't know. What am I going to do? Now this suddenly looks a lot more realistic. And then when we actually get some wood textures in place and we actually add more details, windows, trees, other buildings adjacent to it, this will probably start picking up. Now, does that look right? It still looks a bit too tall. So, I don't know. Do I care about shorting it that much more? I might claim artistic liberties for now until we actually start putting textures on it, and then we'll really be able to determine whether or not the 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 buildings themselves are actually built to scale. But I tell you what, Gaston, this is going to be one of the airports I work on this winter and this spring. It's going to be behind other airports like Plymouth Municipal Airport, but this is going to be a part of some ongoing research, if you will. How can I make this better? I'm probably going to play with the terraforming. Well, I tell you what, I am looking forward to getting much, much better at this. But that takes it's gonna take practice. It's gonna take commitment, dedication, and I don't want to spend time on stuff this year that I'm not gonna make a commitment to. I can probably flatten or paint over that and um, make it so the riverbed's there, and then just like angle these buildings down so they go down to the river itself, which is probably what I'm going to do. It's probably going to be a lot easier than trying to get intricate with the riverbed terraforming itself. I might flatten that piece down, and then that'll be done. And then, believe it or not, I might create interiors for these buildings so that when you go through them, you'll see like a kind of wow. Kilo Lima Bravo Oscar to 3 Mike. Is it 3 Mike 0 or 3 Mike Oscar? Because if it's 3 Mike Oscar, then I think my my scenery is kind of messed up. But I thought it was 3 Mike 0. Let me check actually, because I'm curious. Did I close my? Oh, definitely. It'll be an adventure, Arch. Lena. I'm probably gonna put. I might even go so far as to get menus if you guys can get me screen grabs. Okay. So it's 3 Mike 0. Got it. Oh, no worries. No judgment here. But if you guys can get me the screen grabs, I can give you details. Um, I don't know how much detail I'll be able to do given my time limitations, but I will certainly give it a royal try. This is pretty close to what I want it to be. I might take a few artistic liberties here and there, like I'll either pull this up to the road, kind of like this, so that um, the building's actually closer to the entrance, like here, and then I'll just pull these out further and make this, uh, you know, bigger. Or I might keep things here and play with the grass and stuff so you can have like a slightly bigger parking lot. Yeah, go for it. If you get your hands on materials, let me know. I'm not releasing this one for a price. This is just going to be a fun project. I mean, if you guys feel so moved, feel free to make a donation, but that's never expected. Um, if I start getting into scenery development as a business, I'm probably going to release some other projects. Thank you so much, Ibanez Player. I hope that you and your family are very well. Happy New Year to you, friend. I am working on Gaston's Airport. So, like I said, man, I'm looking forward to making this look even better than it is right now. This is just a rough render, but I wanted to get off my mental block and just start rendering stuff for the sim. So theoretically, I think I've been streaming now since about three. Yep. All right. And I look forward to purchasing the Phenom 100. That's one of my favorite aircraft of any flight sim that I've flown in. So I think the Phenom might actually even be able to land here if you bring it in nice and smooth. It is a grass strip, but I don't think it's like that bad unless you get down to here and you haven't slowed down. I might still create that divot in the taxi or the run-up area so that if you're not watching yourself, you'll bump it. So soon. Yeah, that's right. Um, but there we go. This is how we're kicking things off, and I think the overall direction that we're going with this is solid. If I scale this up a little bit more, it'll fit, but I don't want to scale this up in the sim. I want to kind of fix my dimensions so that the building actually shows up close to where it's supposed to, like, I don't know, here or something. And then I can just take the remainder of like the dock and then flatten this. So, for example, let's just say I take this polygon or this piece here. I'm going to make another polygon and see if I can flatten that out. And then if I can flatten that out, then the dock will come down to the water. Okay. And then give me a new polygon and we will do this. This is just an extremely, extremely, extremely kind of like rough play. And then we'll take it into here, terraforming. We're going to do a 0 flatten distance. And bam. So now this is insta-flat. And I can probably override this with water. So I can make this water like river water. But the problem is if I just do river water, it won't do it the way I want it to. It needs to... I can't do terraforming and have it be flat? That's weird. Yeah, it does not like doing that. So it's it's definitely a work in progress. So is what it is, but I think if I can set up another polygon over it, I should be fine. And I can probably do that right now even. And then we take this, and we take this, close it, and do water, and do river water. And that should probably put a layer over that. And there we go. It's difficult to see because of the fact that you actually have that texture there. But if I put the dock in place and you have all those like piers underneath it, then we won't have too much of an issue. But that's kind of where we are right now. It's it's 5 o'clock. I think I've been streaming for a couple of hours. I might go ahead and call it a little early and just keep you guys informed. So if you guys are following me on Discord, then I will, again, like I mentioned earlier, probably have some kind of a schedule set up soon to just have an idea of what's going on each week. I'm going to be focusing this year on scenery development primarily. Secondary focus is going to be software development, game development with things like C# and Python for programming languages. I'm going to be also working on a game development project with a friend, Coffee Cup Arcade. If you don't know who Coffee Cup Arcade is, I will share his Twitch channel, and the Twitch channel is going to be retro gaming with an emphasis on SID tunes for like the Commodore 64 and Amiga gaming, but also plenty of other consoles as well, and some arcade games too. But while I am at it, let me make some well-deserved shout outs. I'm going to give a shout out to, of course, my friend Arch NDA, and I'm also going to give a shout out to my friend Kurt DZ. That's that's 4 E's. Excuse me. Typing, Digi, typing. Okay, so yes, definitely Kurt. And who else did I miss? Well, plenty of other people, like Ibanez Player 200. So I'm gonna give my friend a shout out. As long as, oh no, I can't do it that way. Okay, hold on. Layer 200, was it 200? Yes, it was 200. I'm spot checking myself now. You got it, my friend. If you guys aren't following any of these wonderful people, please feel free to do so. And I missed plenty of others like Kaon and MSEP004. But I'm going to give one more shout out to my friend Kaon, just in case nobody actually saw it earlier. Kaon is a retro gamer on a quest to play um, multiple Nintendo system games through the year. And if you like retro gaming, you should probably give Kaon a follow. And my friend MSEP, who does Flight Sim streams on occasion, also there. And someone who, oh, of course, that would be why I didn't find you before. Underscores go a long way. And someone who I'm just following now. There we go. So feel free to check out these folks on their channels and go watch them. And that's it. I mean, I pretty much know what my homework's going to be for the next month. I'm going to try to work on the resort building for Gaston's and just improve that. Even just that single solitary improvement, I'm sure, is going to bring a lot of enjoyment for folks that like to fly to that airport. And I don't know, like we'll figure out terraforming and stuff as we go. I'm not terribly concerned, although I think I will at some point want to get better at that so that we can actually enjoy doing all these things. So that'll be my project for the next month, along with Plymouth Municipal Airport, along with probably at least one or two other airports as well. And then, depending on where we are, say by the time we get to March or April, wow, then we'll figure out what else is up. But if you folks didn't miss, if you missed the announcement at the top, Mrs. DG and I are doing what we can to try to get to Flight Sim Expo this year in Vegas. I will most likely be there for the conference, and in terms of like the speakers and catching all the news and stuff like that. And then We'll probably be there on Saturday. We probably won't be there on Sunday. That'll probably be either a friend's visit day, or we might just fly back home. But I, as long as the planning goes through, Lord willing, I expect to be there probably sometime either that Wednesday or that Thursday. And I mean, it would be phenomenal, to fly out there nonstop, but it's going to be a question of seeing, what kinds of deals we can get and where we're going to be staying. We're probably going to be staying there. I was initially thinking about staying at like maybe a different hotel on the strip, but honestly, if there's a way for us to be able to stay on grounds, it's probably going to work out better. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. We still got at least 3 to 6 weeks before we choose or finalize what we're going to do for airfare and hotel accommodations and stuff like that. But I'm going to be taking a look at that. Um, I don't know. I think, yeah, I think I'm going to get up and stretch and call it here. And I think we're going to go raid somebody, say hi real quick, and then I'm going to check and see what else I can do with today. Get up, stretch my legs, have something to eat, the usual. Who can I say hello to? All right. Well, we have several people on stream, including 757 Spy, Continuum, and Forder Learn to Fly, Peter Mooney, and also Flying with Mike, who's doing Explain. But we're actually going to go raid somebody that actually does not get on the radar too much. We're going to raid a new friend of the stream, Rat Hole 80. So they're doing an abandoned airport series in general aviation flights. And I'm going to go say hi. Folks, thanks so much for stopping by today. Really, really appreciate your company. And like I always like to say, if you want true peace in 2024, you definitely want the Prince of Peace, and that's Jesus Christ. Take care, my friends. God bless you all. And until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.